Good evening. I am Ansumane Sonyasi and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios along Kairaba Avenue. First, a look at our main news headlines. President Barrow has returned from his week-long visit to Saudi Arabia, which he says was fruitful. University of the Gambia staff are poised to go on strike on Thursday, 1st July, posing a huge threat to looming exams. Today is International Parliamentarism Day, and we'll look at what it means in a Gambian context. And we also hear how Direct Aid and Sarab Medical Center have helped 30 patients with various illnesses by providing them with free medical treatment. In international news, 30th June also marks DR Congo's 61st anniversary of independence. Well, stay tuned as we bring you more on these and other stories. And now we take a look at the news in detail. President Barrow has described his week-long official visit to Saudi Arabia as fruitful, saying it availed him the opportunity to further discuss with partners on matters of national development. The president was speaking to reporters, including QTV's Aliou Cisse, on arrival on Tuesday night.
It's been a quite engaging week for the president in Saudi Arabia, and he has just landed here at the Banjul International Airport, where he has been received by officials of government, and he has been talking to the press about the outcome of his visit to Saudi Arabia. Your Excellency, welcome back.
Thank you.
Could you just share with us how fruitful was your trip to Saudi?
It was a very good trip. We enjoyed our stay, and we are treated with utmost respect. And we engaged with the Saudi authorities in a wide range of issues, of course OIC. And we engage also with our partners, the Islamic Development Bank and Saudi Fund. We also engage with charity organizations, signed memorandum of understanding with the First Lady Foundation. So basically, it was a very busy trip, and we also performed Umrah and prayed for this country. Prayed for peace, prayed for us to organize a very peaceful and transparent election. Yes. Well, with the Saudi Fund, they are the one funding the OIC roads, and we have sent our reports. We are still waiting for confirmation, and we engage them to say that definitely we are behind schedule, so we want their confirmation. For sure, very soon we will have approval from the Saudi Fund to start our projects.
Now, the University of the Gambia Faculty Staff Association at a press conference have threatened a sit-down strike due to a lack of adequate resources ahead of looming exams. Ajamintu Drame reports.
The proposed strike is prompted by the lack of adequate resources, such as internet access, standard lab equipment, poor ventilation of structures, lack of specialized library, unfavorable policies such as retirees to relinquish their positions, establishment of an independent audit of the UTG salary scale, amongst other issues. Dr. Aliou Jiba, senior lecturer and president of the UTG Faculty and Staff Association, has issued a warning to students to refrain from intervening in their situation. He added that 96% of members have unanimously agreed to take part in the strike. Allegedly, 156 out of 160 staff voted in favor. Over the years, he says, efforts and talks were made with stakeholders, National Assembly members, on the dire situation of the UTG, to no avail.
The areas are compounding. We are subvented in with a low amount of money, and then our salaries are huge. So therefore, we want this money to be paid. They have tried, they are paying, but it has compounded over the past years, especially the past 5 years, to more than $150 million.
Dr. Jiba further stated that the situation is seriously affecting students' output and hindering the execution of their duties and responsibilities. He calls on government and other stakeholders to ease the situation. Madam Fatou Kine Jain Kantara, a psychology lecturer at the UTG, hopes things will be solved and demands will be met for the benefit of students.
And particularly worried about our psychology students in the university who are actually in a course with Cambridge University, and they are from Birkama because they are science students, and they have a lot of issues about internet problems. And because of that, the course have not been going very well. On Saturday, I had a meeting with the team from Cambridge, and they are worried about the prospects of the continuation of this program, because if they are logged on and they are taking their time to teach the course on a specific day, which is Wednesday, if the students are not available, then it's going to create a problem.
According to the UTG Faculty Staff Association, the sit-down strike will start on the 1st of July, demanding a staff tribunal to be set up as enshrined in the 2016 Tertiary and Higher Education Act. Dr. Ensar Toure, the Vice President of the UTG Faculty and Staff Association, speaks of repositioning and restructuring to have a new council as stipulated by the UTG policy.
So once our policies are not operational instrument, then individual hegemony will be the order of day in terms of controlling the university. So what we want is, we don't have a legal or legitimate governing council, because right now they've been serving for 4 years and they are interim, which is against to the policy.
UTG is the highest learning institution in the Gambia. It was established in 1998, but it was until March 1999 that it started offering courses. The UTG Faculty Staff Association said the school is facing numerous challenges and much more needs to be done to improve the situation. According to news media reports, the university's vice-chancellor has issued a statement which says, among other things, failure to administer exams will constitute an act of gross misconduct, end of quote. For now, there appears no prospect of a resolution to the strike, which seems certain to go ahead. Ajibintu Dwame, QTV News.
Now, today is International Parliamentarism Day, which is commemorated by reviewing the progress parliaments have made in achieving some key goals, especially in being more responsive to the needs of their people. Well, this year, the emphasis is on youth participation. In the light of this, Jennifer Sonko took a closer look at the significance of the day with a specifically Gambian slant.
National Parliamentarism Day this year draws attention to the need to look out for future generations destined to live with the political decisions made now. The United Nations says their perspectives, ideas, talents and energy are vital to addressing many of the biggest challenges facing the international community.
This year, the celebration as a special item is dedicated to how to empower the youth in this participation in politics and in its representation in Parliament.
We engaged Omar Cham, the Speaker of the Youth Parliament, the Gambia, on the need to set aside the day especially for Gambia.
Parliament forms a very important and fundamental aspect of our development, as well as our governance, keeping in mind they're the ones that make our laws, and they're the ones that also assist in holding, the government accountable. The government in the circumstance of, them being the executive. So it is needed because this will actually, germinate some matters of encouragement and motivation.
Omar Cisse, the Gambia's youngest parliamentarian, believes there shouldn't be a deliberate policy to ensure young people become parliamentarians, but they should rather compete for the space. He gave an alternative to ensuring young people participate effectively.
I will encourage, if I'm to encourage, the political parties to ensure they create that percentage in their party policy and program, so that during parliamentary election they can consider much young people to participate or contest in various constituencies, ward or regions. I think with that it will help, but not actually just to give them that easy or thing for them to occupy that political space because they have the capacity to do so.
Omar Cham, however, believes that there can and should be a deliberate policy to ensure young people are at the parliament.
To me, it's not going to be a bad idea to actually have a deliberate policy, you might call it, to actually get more young people into parliament. Because the more young people we have into parliament, the more we'll be able to raise the voice of young people, and the more we'll be able to actually represent the ideals, the desires and aspirations of the youth of the country.
Half the world's population is under 30, and yet only 2.6% of MPs globally represent this age group. The IPU leads the campaign I Say Yes to Youth in Parliament. The campaign seeks parliaments all over the world to make 6 commitments, including youth quotas, aligning parliamentary eligibility with the voting age, and monitoring young aspirants. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Bosonko.
Now, following the launch and the successful implementation of a week-long free surgery camp for 30 needy Gambians suffering from various ailments, Direct Aid, a non-governmental organization, and the Sarab Medical Center on Wednesday bid farewell to the patients who benefited from the program. More in this report. Most of these patients came in weak with very little hope of regaining their health. Some of them had been suffering from various life-threatening medical conditions for years, needing very costly standard surgeries. With little or no money to cover their medical expenses, this life-changing program has arrived at the right time. This is one of several similar free medical surgery camps organized by Direct Aid and Sarab Medical Center, from which hundreds of Gambians have benefited since 2017. Adelative Orahu, Director, Direct Aid, and Dr. Dennis Delafe Udilins, Chief Medical Officer of Sarab Medical Center, expressed gratitude to the donors for supporting the program, which they say will have a lifelong impact on the lives of beneficiaries.
I also congratulate all the patients. Congratulations. I hope that your health now is much better and that you will continue to care about your health so that, inshallah, a good life is open now to everybody.
We did the screening of 168 patients. We chose 30 patients basis of social and economical situation, because that's why this charity camp was created, to help poor Gambian people.
Sarah Fama and Musa Damfa, 2 of the 30 patients to benefit from this year's program, thanked Direct Aid and Sarah for coming to their aid.
The lump that I was having on my back was no longer there. Due to the surgical operation, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for all what you have done for me.
For 2 years, I did not leave my house because my health really deteriorated. Now I am eating normally and I can go places thanks to this operation. I am forever grateful. I am grateful to the donors, for if it wasn't for their benevolence, we would not have been able to get such treatment. When I came in here, I was very weak. Staff of Sarab Medical Center, Basiru Drame, Assistant Admin Officer, Suleiman Sima, Head of Theatre, and Chorna Jallo, all expressed delight at the successful completion of the program. Sarab, they say, remains committed to providing high-quality services and some of the most complicated surgeries that are not available anywhere else in the country. Other speakers included patients Sarata Kamara and Biran Sise, amongst others, who all thanked and prayed for the donors, as well as Direct Aid and Sarab for providing them with medical care at no cost. All 30 surgeries were conducted successfully without any complications. Ansumane Sonyasi for QTV News. And that report will lead us to a short commercial break, but we'll be back in a moment.
Ready, set, done. It's that simple and convenient too. With Standard Chartered Bank, you can top up wherever, whenever. Simply dial *1247# and follow the prompts to top up airtime, pay bills, transfer money, check balance, and check statement. Speak to us on +220 420 2275 or email us at gambia.contactus@sc.com. One bank, available 24/7. Standard Chartered, here for good.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. Be reminded you're following QTV News, coming to you live from our studios along Kairaba Avenue, and I am Ansumane Sonyase. Now, the Center for Research and Policy Development last week organized an electoral dialogue for stakeholders and political parties to promote safe and orderly elections. More in this report by Ajibintu Drame.
As part of efforts to maintain peaceful and transparent elections, organizations and stakeholders are engaging relevant stakeholders. This event brought together lawmakers, political party leaders, community-based organizations and international partners, amongst others. The dialogue was on the theme Emerging Issues from the Voter Registration and Role of Actors in the Process. John Charles Njai, the chairman of Tango, spoke about the significance for stakeholders, most especially political parties, to engage in dialogue and be on good terms to maintain tranquility for the country's development.
Actors come together, engage in dialogue. This is our country. For some of us, we don't have dual citizenship. This is the only country we have. If anything goes wrong, we only have the Atlantic Ocean or Senegal. So let's build together. For the political party leaders and the representatives that are here, we commend you. For those that are not here, for whatever reasons, I don't know whether to shame them or to just conclude that maybe they are not interested in dialogue. But we must all come together.
Nene MC Cham, a legal practitioner and rights advocate, implored political leaders to set aside differences and personal interests in the interests of the nation.
To have that at the back of their minds at all times. It is not about positions, it is not about titles, it is not about anything but commitment to the country and the people of this country and commitment to bettering the lives of the Gambians as a whole. And we need political leaders with ideas.
Elections are among the critical governance processes in a country, as they can sometimes descend into violence, as has happened recently in other African countries. Political party leaders and aspirants spoke on emerging issues on the voter registration process and the maintenance of transparent and peaceful election.
The IEC here as referees, what are we putting on board to make sure this, we're not only going to preach but practice. It's very important, especially us, the political parties and our leaders. They have a big stake. It's very important, rather than attacking each other, would also instigate our supporters to disrespect other party leaders or other political parties. In a sense, others would want to fight back or throw back. So this is very key.
I think party leaders have a role to play here, and in particular the IEC. That is why I feel disappointed when forums like this are organized and we don't see party leaders attend these forums. Leadership is not exercised at State House when things are stable. It is exercised in society when there is turbulence.
Every political party there is a disabled person. Let us take this as a challenge and also consider them.
Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Now, Ebunja Theatre on Friday staged Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka's great masterpiece, The Lion and the Jewel. This is part of Ebunja's Theatre for Education initiative to help students of literature prepare for the West African Senior Secondary School certificate examination. Maud Mboj was in the audience and he now reports.
The opening scene features the attempts of the village school teacher, Lakunle, dive deep in Lagos sophistication, to woo Sidi, the village belle, with vanity the size of a planet. The dialogue bristles with comic one-liners that easily open, sometimes loudly, the laughter valves. Jibu Saidi, who played Lakunle, looked the part, and Mariama Koli, as Sidi, the jewel, had both the looks and the talent to pull up a wonderful performance. The audience were mainly senior secondary school students for whose benefit the play was staged. Grace Chapman of the University of the Gambia opened the show, drawing the students' attention to the various elements of drama, such as plot, character, setting, and so on, and closed the show with a questions and answers session. I spoke to some of the students before the play began to find out what their expectations were.
This book is just amazing.
What is amazing about it?
About the characters and everything.
Are you a literature student?
Yeah, for sure.
So you've heard of The Lion and the Jewel before?
I did.
Have you read it?
Yeah, I read it.
Is this your first time here?
No, it is my second time being here.
The play, set in the village, is a story of a young, beautiful woman caught in a tug of war between two arrogant and self-involved men, one in his 20s and the other in his 60s. Sherifo Kanute plays the old man, Baroka, the village chief, known as the Lion, who decides to make Sidi, his youngest bride, pitching him against a younger school teacher. The intrigue and machinations of these men which ensue would ultimately decide the fate of the woman, the jewel. A duo of drummers, together with dancers, show up at interludes, adding drama and spectacle to the performance. This is dance drama at its joyous best. Some have interpreted the play as an allegory, a pure play of metaphors, where each character represents a larger principle. Lakunle being the voice of modernity, wanting to do away with tradition, including refusing to pay the bride price for Sidi, and Baroka, the village patriarch, being the proud embodiment of the past. The play captures the tension and unpredictable but enriching traffic between the past and the present, simultaneously full of magical fun, quotable humor, and wisdom. I spoke to some of the students after the performance.
They are well arranged, and Sidiku was a very beautiful girl. Baroka too is a brave man. Lakule tried to be educated, Mr. Know-all, but he didn't win with the battle. Yeah.
Yes, I know that it will because he is not abide by the rules and regulations. That should be guaranteed for him to marry the guy.
A name virtually synonymous with theatre in this country, Janet Bajan Young directed the play. She established the Ebunjan Theatre in 2011 as the first professional theatre in the country. She has over the years staged many plays, including her own. The Theatre for Education initiative provides an invaluable resource to students because plays reveal themselves fully only in performance, and when the performers are professionals, the audience gains a richer and subtler experience of theatre, and therefore of life. This deepening of understanding is what the students will take to the examination hall. For QTV News, I am Mamadou Mbouch.
Beautiful and great report there by Mamadou Mbouch. Well, over now to international news. Today marks the 61st independence anniversary of DR Congo, observed on June 30th each year. It is the second largest country in Africa. Here we take a look at the country's political, socio-economic history and cultural lifestyle. Ajibintu Drame tells us more.
It was once called the Republic of Zaire from 1971 to 1997 by the then ruler Mobutu Sese Seko, who renamed the country of what he thought was an apt and authentic African name. Zaire meaning Great River in reference to the Congo River. However, after Mobutu's overthrow in 1997, the country was renamed the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The second largest country on the continent, second to Algeria, with the capital Kinshasa, the largest city in Central Africa and the most populous on the continent, with a population of 15 million located on the Congo River, which is the administrative, economic and cultural center. The country is often referred to as DRC, DR Congo or Congo Kinshasa to distinguish it from its neighbor, the other Congo Republic. With a population of around 105 million, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is officially the most populous francophone country in the world. Once a Belgian territory that gained her independence in 1960, it is bounded to the north by the Central African Republic and South Sudan, to the east by Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi and Tanzania, to the southeast by Zambia and to the southwest by Angola. To the west are the country's short Atlantic coastline, the Angolan enclave of Cabinda and Congo-Brazzaville. The country is endowed with rich natural resources including diamonds, cobalt and copper, and one of the largest forest reserves in Africa. Unfortunately, due to the bad governance, it is among the poorest. More than 200 African ethnic groups live in Congo, speaking the same number of languages. Of these, the Bantu peoples constitute a large majority of the country's population. However, the widely and most common languages spoken are Swahili, Lingala, Congo, and Shiluba. These four national languages are mostly used in regional commerce and on the radio. The use of Lingala is growing rapidly. Under the leadership of Mobutu, it was the official language of the military, and it is widely spoken in Kinshasa, where it is used in popular music by artists such as Koffi Olomide and Fally Ipupa. two of the biggest stars in African music. Among Congolese in the capital and its surroundings, Lingala is the lingua franca, in much the same way Wolof is in Greater Banjul. French is the official language. The country has a large Christian population, many of whom are Catholic, while the remainder practice traditional African beliefs or follow Islam. The cuisine of the Democratic Republic of the Congo includes cassava, fufu, rice, plantain and potatoes, which are generally staple foods eaten with other side dishes. Mwambe is one of the special delicacies of DRC national dish, consisting of chicken or fish with cassava leaves, hot pepper sauce, bananas, rice, peanuts, fish, chicken and palm nuts. On this day, we wish this often troubled country a happy independence anniversary. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
And in sports, Gambian cyclists have complained about the lack of funding for their sport. In an interview with QTV on Wednesday, they said dipping into their pockets to fund their programs has become the norm. 6 cyclists are expected to take to the roads in a competitive race in Senegal next week. Mamadou Gajaga has more.
Dressed in their national colors, these cyclists are passionate, determined and ambitious. But beneath their deep love for cycling, lack of funding has almost crippled them financially. They've been camping in Jarasoma for a week in preparation for a cycling tour in Senegal next week. Sadio Cisse is a cyclist and a coach. He says these bicycles cost a lot of money, and yet they are below the recommended standard for professionals.
Records important ila sporting career kono. Okay, nyilu yung cyclistol they need records. Okay, that records mune ba sambala nang walam finance. Okay, nyanta ka competition also to Gambia jane although competition open competitions.
These cyclists need records in their sport. We can only get these records through competitions, which we lack, and this is affecting us. Cherno Diouf, Secretary General of the Gambia Cycling Association, says they have short support from government and companies, but to no avail. He added that their ultimate objective is to raise high the flag of their country.
Dem Senegal laajte nañ dimbal ba sona nok nañ bunta yi muy si wàllum government muy si wàllum companies yi nok nañ bunta yi ba sona waaye yàlla def na amuñ benn dimbal foofu.
There are setbacks in our preparations. We knocked on many doors for support without response. We will be going to this competition on behalf of our country, not individually. The Gambian cyclists took part in several competitions in the sub-region, which they say were solely funded by the athletes individually and the association. They are expected to cover 700 kilometers in a week in the Tour de Senegal. Mamadou Lamarana Ba, president of the association, calls for support.
Comme man luma gis outside country nu government bi de dimbalé walum sport bi muy cycling muy any events dal so ñun tamit lolu lañuy ñaan pour gaay ñu dimbalé ñu ci because dañ ñaka lu bari.
If I look elsewhere, governments give support to some sports. We need support from the government in many areas. We lack good equipment, even though we are trying on our own under the circumstances. We made efforts to reach out to the National Sports Council for comment without success. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
And I'm afraid that's all about it, but do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Until then, thanks for watching.